Hi guys, Sean here from Shankler's Boot Room. Just putting my part, sort of pointing about the Trent stuff, which has been breaking over the last, well, most of the day really. I've sort of left it to see just how it all unfolds, because obviously, all the rumours that were coming out in the early morning. I thought I'd give it a bit of time to see is this genuinely true. We've been had so much backwards and forwards about this. Now, my thoughts. Well, my thoughts are that it's no secret. I think we've all kind of known this is going to happen. We just didn't know when. I'm a little bit surprised. I'm a bit surprised at the timing, and then again, I'm not as well, because international breaks, some of these kind of types of stories tend to come out. People have to write stuff and all the rest of it, and all that kind of thing. So all those things play a part. So what do I think about it? Well, at the end of the day, like I said before, it's no shock to me that this news. Some of the things going around, that he was offered a lot more money at Liverpool to stay, and he's kind of taken a bit of a pay cut to actually go to Real Madrid for a fee of around about 220,000, I believe, is the wages that I've heard anyway. But he was offered a lot more, way over 300 here. I find that a bit hard to believe, to be quite honest with you, on several fronts. I mean, one, that would put a right back getting close to the same money as Salah, which I don't accept. Salah's on 350 at the moment, and I know he hasn't signed a new contract yet. But we've probably got to cut through to how this all started, really. He signed a 4-year deal to take him up to this year. And he was 21 at the time, I think. So the big question there has to come in is why he signed that kind of a deal when he could have signed for like a 6-year deal. So if his long-term future was just to stay at Liverpool. So clearly it's been on his mind even from back then that he wanted to keep his options open, that if either Liverpool weren't ambitious enough, or he just felt like he'd like to have some kind of different, adventure, whatever. I don't know what you would want to call it, by going to Real Madrid. He's come through as a schoolboy. All he's known is Liverpool, really, and he's been winning stuff. I don't believe we've been as successful as we could have been with having Klopp here. I think there's been years of underinvestment, and we just haven't been managing the club very well around contracts and stuff like that for years. I don't think, or for quite a number of years, probably since Edwards left and all that kind of stuff. Because that's where we're in the mess now that we're in with these 3 contracts anyway. Because what you do is you get down to 2 years, and then you hold the player to signing. Basically, if you don't sign, then you've got to leave next year. We can't allow you to go for nothing. So we've allowed this to happen. So that's the big thing there from the club perspective. From the player perspective, I can't get into the mind of Trent. I don't know what he thinks, how he thinks, whether it's just he would have gone no matter what happened. Perhaps we won 4 titles in a row and he still leaves. I just don't know. I don't know his heart. I don't know his mind. I don't know what's the base to him. I just know it's pretty crap. But at the end of the day, it's not his fault that the club allowed these contracts to run right down. You could argue he's been quiet all year. It's always been known that he's going to leave. We've all suspected he's going to leave, really. That's been the feeling from us fans, that this would happen. And now it has happened. And so Liverpool fans will be annoyed. They'll feel hurt. They'll feel like, a lot of fans anyway. Some fans will be, if you don't want to play for the club, goodbye. We don't want you here. And that, of course, is another angle on all of this. But it's just an emphasis of just how important it is to get things done properly in terms of contracts and stuff like that, because this is the big thing here. Now we don't know if Virgil's going to sign. We don't know if Mo's going to sign. We don't know what's happening with them. We know they both want to stay. They've been clear about that. I think I feel pretty confident that that's the case. Now, there's a lot of scenarios that could happen here. It could be, now this news is broken, that Virgil and Mo have got kind of penned contracts, and they now come out as kind of like a softener to this news. So like, oh, but Virgil and Mo are staying. Look at this. Because we're right in the middle of a title race. Now, although I see us getting over the line and winning that title race, and I don't think the Trent news will derail that in any way, it's still not brilliant news, you know? So a softener to that would be Virgil and Mo are staying, or one of the two are staying, that we know right now. The only thing I'll counteract with that is very recently, Virgil was saying they're nowhere near being resolved yet. You know, there's no resolution, and if you hear news from news sources that I'm off, don't believe them, and all that kind of stuff. So it seems like this way he worded that was like there's still a lot of work to be done. But they could just the next day or two come out with Virgil Moa staying, which of course will help. But at the moment, as far as I know, they're going for free. That's what we do know at the end of this season. So this is a massive, massive summer for Liverpool now, because you've got to look at it from different perspectives, really. But the main thing about this is we have obviously Conor Bradley as our right back. Now Conor Bradley is young. Conor Bradley has shown signs that he's going to be a great player, and I still believe that he will be. But he gets injuries as well, and so we cannot go into the next season, with just him. In actual fact, I think we should bring in, as a Liverpool Football Club, we should actually bring in someone above him. Even though I really respect Conor Bradley and I love the player, and he should be the one trying to fight to get into to still be the number one. Really, he's still very young, and as I say, we've got a bit of a question mark on his injuries so far. Having not played a massive amount of games, but he's had at least 2, is it possibly 3 injuries since sort of breaking on the scene, really. So, you know, that doesn't bode well. And it's very common with young players. They can get growing sort of muscular problems and stuff like that. We saw it with Gerrard when he was young and he grew out of those. So that could all be related to that. It doesn't mean to say he's going to literally be injury prone for the rest of his career. But at the moment, as it stands, he picks up injuries. So we need to now replace that. But then, of course, you've got to go right through the whole entire team. What if now Verge and Mo don't sign? So we'll talk about ripping out the soul of the team now. Verge is the best centre-back in the world, bar none for me. And Mo's the best right forward, if you like, you know, in the world for me. So, and no signs of them dipping off in... I mean, we can all talk about the last few games, how both of them have actually dipped off a little bit, but this is not like dipping off in... This is kind of like just circumstances, really. But we're obviously going to need a left back. We're going to need a centre back, maybe 2. We're going to need a midfielder. We need someone to get in there and get a hold of things. Physicality in games is a problem for us. We need to get a good, strong holding midfielder in there for me. Maybe 2, possibly 3 forwards will go in the summer. That could be... So many people think that Jota will stay and have a chance to get himself fit and prove himself again back in the team. I don't know about that. But definitely Diaz, who I think is also refusing to sign a contract, and also Nunez will definitely go. So you go all around this team, and there is lots of work to be done in the summer. It's a big, big summer. It's a big, big summer, even if Verge and Mo stay. But imagine if they go. So there's big question marks. This is just the first part of it now with Trent. Trent is the one we all thought probably is on his way. I don't know too many Liverpool fans that felt he was actually staying. Probably we had a hope he would. You know, we'd rather have him than lose him. But if that's his decision, there we go. Now, in particular to local Liverpool fans, they will be cooking about this. I understand it. He's a local lad. You know, this is someone who was dropped off after school to do training at Liverpool, picked up, like, do you know what I mean? Has been there from a child. So this is a big one, really. And it does. But we can't get into the mind of Trent. Is something he doesn't like. Now, some of the questions that are raised out of this is, are we ambitious enough? Is that an issue? Let me know in the comments down below, guys, what you think about that, because that's a big question to be asked. Is he ambitious enough? I mean, are we ambitious enough as a club? Yes, we have been reasonably successful since FSG have been in, and since the 2 managers in particular, in Klopp and now Slot, have been in. Slot's probably going to win his first Premier League title in his first season, which is incredible. And we were pretty successful under Klopp, although I've always said we should have won more. and could have won more, and possibly with a little bit more investment could have also done it that way too. But the model has never changed. The model has always been sell to buy. That's what we are. And so there's going to be a lot of outgoings this summer, I believe, guys. I think I personally think that Endo might go because I just don't see the point in holding on to someone you're going to play 500 minutes across the season, which is probably roughly what he's on. I don't know exactly, but I mean, he's played 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there. I mean, that you're not playing every week and you're just coming on sporadically, and that's kind of the minutes you're putting in. So he'll probably be gone. But we need to replace him, and we need to replace that particular position. And I don't want none of this. I'm a diverse kind of a player. I can play in 3-4 positions. I want an actual six, who can actually break things up, who can snap the tackles in, who can impose himself on games. Elliot, for me, I think Elliot will go more for himself as opposed to the club, even though he's a Liverpool fan. The minutes he's getting and the clear way in which you can see he's not, especially in the last few games where we've been misfiring up front, you need someone in there to kind of be a bit more creational for the team. And in some respects, Szoboszlai isn't all of that. You know, he's a hard-working player. He gets about everywhere, but he's just not that instinctive as a 10, as it were. But Harvey Elliott is, but hasn't played. So I really do think Slot is such a man who, if he doesn't have faith in a player, it's kind of, you're just not getting in my team, you know. And I think he's probably a little bit more ruthless that way than Klopp. Klopp would actually give players a chance. If they work hard in training and show something, you'll very often see him in the next game. It's not been the case with Arnie Slot. You can score 2 or 3 goals and you don't necessarily play in the next game with him. He's very, very, he knows his system, and this is why I think it would be a big summer as well. He knows his system, he knows how he wants to play, and certain players don't fit into that. You know, Harvey Elliott is 5'6". He's a small guy. He can't do the retention stuff. He can't do the running. He's not quick either. He's not physical enough. All that kind of stuff plays into, I think, how Arne Slot thinks about him. So I think he will be off. Diaz, I think, will be off because I think we want him to go as much as he might want to go. So I think that's a no-brainer. And Nunez is gone already for me. So he's definitely gone. Jota, I'm in 2 minds about. I personally would like him to go because I think this injury thing is never going to ever be, you know, what is he, 27, 28 now, something like that. And I just think it's something that's plagued him all his career. And I just think it's something that will continue to do that, really. By this kind of age, you should be through all of that. If you know, when you're in your younger sort of 21s, 22s, that area, and you're getting injuries, they can be partially because you're growing into a man and put your body under quite a lot of stress by playing a lot of football, etc. That's not the case with Jota. He just is a bit injury prone, really. And I just feel he takes a long time to get back into form. He can be like that. But he didn't actually score for a year once for Oscar Heist. You know that. He spent a whole year without scoring. But when he's in his purple patches and when he's in his times where he is scoring, he's a brilliant goal scorer. But like I say, we just haven't seen enough of that. So I would like to see him go. But whether he will actually go or not, I'm not sure. Because of the work that has to be done. I think Diaz and Nunez will be above him in that regard. Left back, of course, we have to get rid of Tsimikas. I don't even want to see him at our club. People know from previous videos what I think about Tsimikas. I don't rate him. And I just don't want him anywhere near our team, really, if I'm really honest about it. And I base it all on the fact that Robertson, for the first half of the season, was poor. And he came in and didn't stamp himself on the team. You know, he didn't show anything to make me think, wow, he really wants a place in the team, you know. So that's kind of like where I've gone with him. And I just don't think he's ambitious enough. I think he's just happy to play a few minutes here and a few minutes there. Well, I don't want players like that at Liverpool. I want players that are going to come in and say, your left back spot, I'm having it. And I don't think it's as hard to do that against Andy Robertson as you might think, because as much as he's been a brilliant player for us, you know, he is on the downward turn in his career now. So we need to see far more from. So that position needs to be filled. There are names out there for that. Let's go to centre back again. We don't know what's happening with Verge. Even if he stays, we still need another centre back for me. Konate gets injuries. Kwanzaa, we're not sure about. Same with Gomez. But I think there'll be a lot of players going out this summer, guys. I really, really do, and I think we have to be ready for the fact that we might not also bring in quite the players we want to. This is Liverpool Football Club, in the top 4 clubs, I would say, in the world, and we still don't do enough every season. We just don't we don't get over that line to do enough. Now, I'm saying that of the fact that we're going to win the title this year. Don't get me wrong, but the competitions we've gone out of is not enough rotation. Slot could have rotated more, should have rotated more. He didn't. So that's one thing to say about that. But really, we need to just get ourselves in a position where we can serially win stuff. That's what I want us to be pushing for, that league every year. This is Liverpool. So anyway, irrespective of all of those factors, it's going to be a big summer, guys. That's what I see. The Trent stuff, let me know in the comments down below how you feel about that. I'll be absolutely honest with you. I don't want players at my club if they don't want to play, irrespective of whether they've been a schoolboy or not and come through the youth and all of that kind of stuff. The guy clearly wants to go, you know. If it's true, and I think he's been wanted to go before Slot came in. Some people said, "Oh, you know, we've got a new manager now. He wants to wait and see how it." It's nothing to do with that. He's wanted to go to Real Madrid, probably since Bellingham was there, to be fair. And I just think he wants that chapter in his playing career. So that's the way he is, and we just have to accept. You know, I just don't want any player at Liverpool that doesn't want to be there. And if he's not going to sign a new contract, it means he doesn't want to be there. So whatever the reason, we're going to win the league this year in his hometown of Liverpool. We are going to win the league. A local player cannot ask for more than that, but still he's going. So this has been decided for a while, I think, guys. It's quite clear. He's made his mind up and he's off. So we just got to get over it, really, and just look forward from that. And so, yeah, it's a big summer, really big summer. No matter what way you play it, it cannot be, if it's anything short of a massive summer, then we really are in trouble because, you know, like I say, things need to be done in this team. We've seen it from the PSG game onwards that, you know, we get to this last 10, 12 games, there's not enough rotation in the team. We need to get more players in. We can rotate, that we have faith, that he has faith in Slot anyway. And we need to be able to keep it fresh and keep it going. Other clubs are doing that. We look more tired than a few other clubs, if you ask me, and we might have played more games than them, I don't know. But whatever the case may be, we need to try and keep ourselves fresher at these last stretches of seasons. We can only do that with the kind of squad that Slot's happy with and all the rest of it. I think we'll challenge next year, but I think there'll be a lot more. This is a kick up the backside to Arsenal, Man City, and all the rest of them, that they need to improve, because we have at a canter got pretty much an unassailable lead ahead of those. So therefore, yeah, they've had injuries and stuff. Of course, I'm not saying they haven't. We've had injuries, and we're just clearly going to get it over the line and win this league now. So from here, I want to see Liverpool committing to reinforcing in the summer. It's a big, big summer. And I'd love 1 or 2 big signings to come in. I really would. I'd love Isak to come in. Just don't see it. I think I mentioned this in a previous video. I just think when you have a summer where you've got a lot of things to do, a signing like Isak, who's going to cost a lot of money, just doesn't fit in with the plan of what you want to do. Some people say it's why we never went for Bellingham, because we wanted to spread that cost out across like a whole midfield. We needed to reinvest, and that makes sense. Yes, we could have bought in Bellingham, but we'd have still been short of 2 or 3 players in other positions, and that kind of in other midfield positions. So it's all eggs in one basket scenario, and we can't do that. So that's why I don't think Isak will come in, even if he does become available. Like, say, by some miracle, Newcastle don't get Champions League and he gets put on the market. I still don't think we'll be in that conversation, because we'll be outbid by other teams that want him more, in the sense that we've got so much work, other bits and pieces to do. The club never put money in, so there's no extra money. So we've got to generate that money, and that starts in the summer, in 2 or 3 months' time, when we're going to see a lot of players leaving the club, I believe, and then we start to try and do our business off the back of that. And so yeah, it's a big summer. Anyway, guys, that's my thoughts on everything. Like I say, I'm not going to get too much into the figures and all that kind of stuff, because I just really don't know whether Trent was really offered a lot more money than he's getting at going to be getting at Real Madrid. I think that really doesn't matter. If he wants to go, let him go. I don't want any player staying at Liverpool that doesn't want to be there. So, and there's been signs of it, really. I've been disappointed with Trent in big games. For me, it's Man United when he walked around and just was absolutely useless, almost played like he was playing for Man United virtually. And I remember last season in the Merseyside derby, a similar kind of performance, just very apathetical, not tracking back. It's like he's got a sense of entitlement, and I don't like that. These are the games you have to turn up in. Gerrard never not turned up. Gerrard came on and got sent off once. Now, as bad as coming on and getting sent off is, at least it shows his passion and his commitment to the club, and he wants to win. So, yeah, every player has a different pathway. This is the one that Trent's chosen. He's got to stick by it now. It will affect his legacy. It has to, because he's in his prime and he's just leaving the club for free, which isn't totally his fault, but he's leaving for free, and the club get nothing out of a player they produced. And that's a bit of a shame, really. But like I say, the last 2 or 3 years of business have been that poor that I just don't see it. I just don't see how, Liverpool have put themselves in this position, really, and us fans have been let down because, our 3 of our best players, could leave at the end of the season. And that's the tragic truth of it all. The club have to take ownership of that. Now in the press, you're going to see all kinds of nonsense coming out now. You're going to see all kinds of absolute BS about how they're doing this, how they're doing that, what's going on here, what's going on with that. You're going to see it all. It's all going to come out, and you'll get some big stories about the summer, and maybe you might even get some whispers about the 2 contracts that haven't signed yet, as far as we know. All that kind of stuff's going to go wrong. Just let the dust settle on all of this. Take a step back and just enjoy these next few weeks when we're going to see all these teams coming and giving us victory parades week after week, because that's going to happen sooner rather than later, I believe. And so enjoy the rest of the season. We're going to be champions. We're going to be league champions, and that's a great thing. And then we can go into next summer and rebuild. Slot will have learned a lot. Believe me, Slot would have learned a lot from these weeks just gone by. He will have learned a lot from these weeks about his team, a little bit about himself, I think, as well. Don't forget, Slot's learning as well here, guys. He's not played at this level, but he's not managed at this level before. He was at Feyenoord before, and we have to. One of my reasons for being worried about him coming in, which has all been, those fears have been allayed now, because I can see how good tactically he is, even though in the last couple of games I don't think he'd done anything good tactically. But across the season, he has been fantastic in the league tactically, and so he's more than proved himself as a good coach and a good manager. And so I've got no worries about that at all. But he's still learning. We have to remember that. But behind the scenes, he's not involved with the ins and outs of this club directly. This is a big summer for Richard Hughes. Richard Hughes is in microscope land. He has the microscope right on him, from the Liverpool fans, from the footballing world in general, because he's at a big club now. No disrespect to Bournemouth, and he has to turn up this summer with making astute, correct signings that Slot wants. I've gone over this before. He needs to be involved on those, and we need to just make the right decisions, really, with regard to the team, and so that we can go into next season healthy and give it a right good go again, and see if we can get 21, League 21 on the board, which would be just amazing if we can. But that's a long way off. Anyway, you enjoy your day, guys. For those of you that feel really hurt or let down by all of this, just think, would you really want a player to... The way I deal with it is, I think, but would I want him to stay if he doesn't want to stay? And now the questions are why he doesn't want to stay. I kind of get that. And please leave your comments down below in why you think he's not staying. I'd love to hear those. I just think it's been a decision he's made a long time, a good while ago, I would say. I reckon it's a decision it's not something new or something like that. This is a decision, and I'm talking about even before the start of this season, probably made that one anyway, in my opinion. And it was something that was part of his journey as a footballer that he already had down, that he wanted to play for Real Madrid. So he's Liverpool born and bred. He shouldn't want to go anywhere else, but he does. And so because he does, it's bye-bye for me. And, you know, if he's going to get absolutely slated from here on in, be interested to see how many games he actually plays, or if he plays when he comes back from his injury now, because there's going to be a big thing about that. But anyway, we'll see. All I can say is that it's a big summer, big summer, and we've got to get things so right. So many times we don't, and we aren't very good at stepping up when we're and strengthening from a position of strength. That's been a weakness for us, and we've got to turn that round. That's got to change. We've been bitten by this before. This has to be a summer where we win the title and strengthen the team again. So we've got to do everything we can to hold on to Virgin Mo for me, and we build around that. You know, I think I mentioned in a video before, there is no risk in signing Virgin and Mo. No risk whatsoever. We just sign them. Now, whether it's to do with money or length of contract, I don't know. If they want 3-year contracts, give them 3-year contracts. The guys are brilliant every week. And if they dip off, you've still got players you can sell, because even though they're dipping off, there will always be teams in the world, big teams, that will take them. So if we feel we have to get rid of them because we can see the drop off and bring in new players, then we do it. Okay? Anyway, guys, I'll catch you on the next one, and you take care.